work together to fulfill your purpose. We ask you to give us wisdom, patience, and the guidance as we plan for the future. We also ask that you protect our first responders, to include the members of our law enforcement. Please watch over and safeguard all the members of our armed forces at home and overseas. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Council. Pledge to the flag of our country. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, great state of Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Yeah, I can take a roll call, sure.
Mayor Chris Porter,
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell Davis,
Here.
Councilmember David Mullane, Councilmember Jay Reesner,
Here.
Councilmember Ricky Warwick, Councilmember Larry Sanders,
Here.
City Attorney Scott Francis,
Here.
City Engineer Greg Phipps, Chief of Police Chief Carlisle, Captain Campbell is here, City Secretary Marie Campbell, and City Administrator Scott Casper is here.
All right, thank you, Scott. So let's move into public comments. Before I start, I will tell you that public comments are 3 minutes. It is not permitted to discuss anything on the public comments with the commenter unless it is on the agenda, and then only at the time it comes up on the agenda will it be discussed. With that being said, Ms. Stewart, you're up. Ma'am.
I want to appreciate and thank Jerry Reesner for all the years of service and dedication to Roman Forest. And the council is about to accept applications for his vacancy, and I would like the council to consider me. As most of you are aware, I recently ran for a city council position and lost by less than 9 votes. I have 30+ years as a successful business owner and all the various duties and experiences that entail. As treasurer of several large organizations, I have dealt with both developing and reviewing budgets and finding outside sources for funding those budgets. As an experienced grant writer, I can assist our chief administrator and police chief in seeking alternative sources of funding and do research, review, and development of ordinances for our zoning committee. Roman Forest is my permanent home, and I'm passionate about keeping our city strong, connected, and well-managed. Despite not being elected, I have continued to participate in the city by both regularly attending city council meetings, special meetings, workshops, and holding a leadership role in our city's events committee. Many other candidates have simply disengaged after losing an election or leaving an elected office. I care deeply about the direction our city is heading. Working on the events for over the past 3 years has given me the opportunity to have a positive working relationship with our police department, city administrator, financial secretary, and council members as well. I have experience in local, state, and national government, organizational development, and leadership training. I want to learn and share the things that are important and beneficial to our residents. I will make myself approachable and responsive to needs properly expressed. I believe my commitments to Roman Forest will make me an effective councilwoman and worthy of your consideration.
Thank you, Madam. All right, next up we have Mr. Ellis. Chris Ellis, you're up, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, residents. So I just want to keep it short and sweet. I really wasn't prepared. we got a baseball game to get to, so I had to swing in real quick. Most of you know, I've done work for several of you that are present here tonight on Republic Roofing and Renovation, file permits through the city, everything. And I believe in the permit system. However, my last permit was just terrible, right? It took 128 days to get a permit, and it's just, the city of Roman Forest is the most difficult, even being on council, and I'm not here to throw mud. I'm not saying it was, I'm not throwing any names out. I'm not here to throw mud, but I would just say the city to remind Bureau Veritas that Bureau Veritas works for the city of Roman Forest, and they answer to the city of Roman Forest. And if they are not competent enough, or they can't handle our business, then we need to seek other companies that take care of that. 128 days is beyond ridiculous. At this point, if I was to have to pull another permit, I would rather do the work, void the permit, and just pay the fine at this point. That way I can get the permit when I'm getting fined. Again, 128 days is well beyond, and it's unacceptable. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Any other public speaking?
No, sir.
All right, we're going to move into our agenda, which is item 6, swearing in the new associate judge, Mr. Alan Goodwin.
Alan Goodwin, that's who we're bringing to you tonight, just to have somebody that's sworn in, should Judge Stanley not be able to be here.
Yeah, Mr. Stanley, any words before we do this?
In the time that I've known Judge Goodwin, he has a very similar judicial philosophy that I do. His demeanor is nice and calm and reassuring and patient. Great customer service to the constituency, and I believe that he will do an admirable job.
So he is your recommendation?
He is my recommendation. Yes.
And I accept that recommendation. I would like for you to swear him in, sir.
Okay. Sir.
Judge, I do raise your hand.
I, Alan Goodwin,
I, Alan Goodman,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of municipal judge
that I will faithfully and dutifully execute the duties of associate
office
judge
of associate judge, the city of Roman Forest,
the city of Roman Forest,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and the laws
and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good.
Congratulations. Thanks, Mark. Yes, sir. All right, everybody, welcome our new associate judge.
Yeah.
Is there 2 we have to do, Brian? Or?
No, sir.
No, sir.
First one. No, he's not.
All right, council, while they are taking a look at that, we're going to move on to item 7, which is our consent agenda items. This is consider and approve the items listed under the consent agenda. Let's consider the minutes of the city council meetings. One is dated February 23rd, 2026. This was a regular city council meeting. So let's take a look at those.
Yes, thank you.
Council, we are also looking at the minutes of March 11, 2026. This was a special council meeting. My apologies to council for not being able to attend that meeting. You also have a maintenance report in front of you for review. You have a one-pager that is the court report in front of you for review. Council, you have the permit summary, permit report. There's a two-pager in front of you for review. And before we proceed, any questions on the minutes, February 23rd or March 11th so far? Yes, sir.
Questions on some of the reports when we get.
Sure, yeah. Maintenance report,
Yes,
question? Okay, go ahead, Council.
So just a question for the city administrator. Item 9, started cleaning and cutting vacant lots in the city. Are we no longer sending notices to owners and charging them for that? Or are we just taking that upon ourselves that we're going to maintain lots that people choose not to?
No, sir. Josh is still sending notices to those, but if we cross one that's way overgrown on our way to a cul-de-sac,
Yes, sir.
we're cutting it.
Okay.
Just
Are
because
we-
we want the city to look good.
I guess my request would be that continue to do that, but also track that cost and send it to the owner and let them know that we are asking them to account for the cost when we have to mow for them.
We probably hit a couple a little early where Josh wasn't able to take the picture first, so we had to eat those, but we've started the process already. They're growing so quick already. Yes, sir.
So that process would be accountability, billing that person?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a great idea.
And
Yeah,
then,
Josh has already started sending letters to some of them.
No, that's.
Some of the letters that were sent last growing season were sent later in the year. So we get it a year, so they're still covered under that. So the ones that you've done ahead of time may still be covered.
and then a quick question just on the violations report and on the court report, just that on both of those, we're tracking funds incoming to the city less than they were last year, or either of those a concern ongoing for the remainder of the year budgets? Are we gonna have to move funds to cover things, since if we've equated this year's budget to last year's, we're tracking behind where we were
I would
last year?
say right now, we are not gonna have to, but we're having a year review coming up at the end of the 6 months, so I'll have a better answer for you.
Thank you, sir. That's it. Those are my only questions.
Yes, sir, thank you. Any other questions, council, so far? Any other reports? Jerry, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Mayor, when you vote to approve this, I will need to abstain from the March 11 because I was not here.
Actually, you can actually, have you read the minutes, sir?
I've looked through them, but I didn't.
You can vote on it. Am I correct on that stuff? You can vote on it, sir.
Okay.
Any other
You
questions?
choose to abstain, you can.
What's that?
If he chooses to abstain.
Oh, absolutely, but he can vote if he chooses. You can vote if you choose to, but you can abstain. Okay. Let's move on to the city administrator, I'm sorry, the finance report.
For the end of February, for the general fund, we had $1,317,125. Reserve fund, we have $399,251. Asset forfeiture, $15,456. FEMA, $283,551. COVID, $342,193. 2016 certificate, $39,649, and debt service, $210,932, which brings the total for both funds for Wells Fargo and tax pool to $2,609,161.
Questions for finance?
No, sir.
I think you're good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
City administrator.
Sir. All right, so let's start off with the great news of our city from last week, the ribbon cutting at 5:30 last Monday night. For those of you that got to come, it was a really great event. A lot of work went into that from a lot of different people, starting with the council approving it. Want to give good credit out to Larry and Gunner and Lee, who did all the prep work before Craftsman came and actually put in the equipment, taking out some benches that needed to be moved. Also removing stumps out of the park so that it would be there. And if you haven't been there, then you haven't seen how the new part opens up with the old part, and it looks like it's all one big playground now. And I'll tell you, every day I go by there and I see more cars, it seems like, at the park, and this week it sure seemed to be a really full park, lots of things going on. And for those people that are wondering, I'll just go ahead and answer this, is probably further down, but the splash pad will open here in the next couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. They're working on making sure everything of the maintenance side of it, but we're getting ready to open it here early April, so it will get opened up. Also, when we cut the ribbon that night, a big thank you out to Linda and Deanna for the sign up front when you come in, and we now welcome you to the city of Roman Forest. I'll tell you, it's just the whole left side of the boulevard pops when you come across now, that rather than how it used to be. It looks a lot better than it did, and we appreciate what you guys did to approve that, and the events committee did for the sign that went onto the fence.
And Linda, I should have, and I apologize. Thank you though. Yes, no, absolutely. This platform, thank you so much. I should have, and my wife beat me up all the way home. I should have mentioned that. Everything looked great. Thank you for the, what do they call that? The screen, windscreen. Thank you for the windscreens. They look very nice. And I should have mentioned that at the ribbon cutting.
It's okay.
Continue, sir.
We are currently taking applications for lifeguards at the pool right now. We've had probably 3 or 4 people that have come in, but we're always looking, we need a lot more people to come in and apply for that job. We are planning on this Saturday before Memorial Day. So that'll be the first day that the pool will open. But if anybody out there has an adult or a high school that's looking for a summer job, they can come by City Hall 7 to 5 Monday through Thursday, pick up an application from either Josh, Marie, or myself. Do want to remind us, we spoke about a minute ago with grass growing. Code enforcement is out giving notices, letting people know that things are already starting to grow. But remember that you need to keep your yard mowed, keep your ditches clean. Yard should be no higher than 12 inches. If you need a reminder, we will be more than happy to drive by and give you a reminder to make sure you get that done. Our energy update on Apollo project should be moving forward here pretty soon. We signed off on our part of the agreement that had slowed down, but there's still some other entities that still have to sign off. But as you can see on Appian, they've already done the clearing for what the electricity lines that are going to go up down Appian. That's not on the boulevard, which will still be underground. And we are still without a full-time court clerk. We do have a part-time one that comes in from Plum Grove on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 2 o'clock. We are still here Monday through Thursday, 7 to 5. Marie and I have become quite almost capable. But if you have questions or you need help, we are here from 7 to 5 to help you. Or you can call But we have someone that is certified to help you 9 to 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Any questions?
Sure, good job.
I think we'll just leave you as the court clerk also.
Sir?
I think we'll just leave you as the court clerk also.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Thanks, Scott. Right, and now we have Linda, Events Committee, ma'am.
So I want to give a big thank you and appreciation to Deanna Martinez for her years of dedication to Roman Forest and the thankless time and efforts to the many events that we've had over the years. And as my mentor and inspiration, I'm continuing and will call upon her to assist me as I have assisted her over the years. I want to, I appreciate you finally mentioning the pool cover, but I want to appreciate all the positive feedback from the people that have enjoyed and complimented the covering, and to know that we properly welcome people to Roman Forest. I want to thank all the regulars and the new participants that came this past Saturday to the Coffee and Donuts and the Bloodmobile. We have 3 confirmed events coming up. The first is Monday, May 25th, the Memorial Day observance at the Purple Heart Monument. I'm looking forward to continuing participation of the VFW, ROTC, Scouts, and residents. Then Saturday, July 4th actually falls on a Saturday, so the parade, July 4th parade, and our 250th USA celebration will be Saturday, July 4th. Jerry and the Ham Radio Group have been an integral part in planning, as well as the VFW and many community groups and residents. The council, I want to remind you that I need you to please select a grand marshal for this year's parade and get that on your agenda and plan. And then I need people interested in participating in these events and help with future events. We're going to have an events committee planning workshop on Thursday, April 9th, here in City Hall at 5:30. I need you to bring ideas for these and new events, how you can help and schedule such events. We're interested in having a kids art contest with prizes for awards at the pool. There's been desire to have a farmer's craft kids market at the park, CPR and women's self-defense training. We have bingo, bunco, national night out. There's been interest for a pet vaccination clinic, regular Christmas activities and special holidays, or just any specific project or items you want to see here in Roman Forest that we can raise funds for, and going to have to, but part of it is you can make suggestions, but you're going to have to participate along with your ideas. You're going to have to walk the walk along with talk the talk. So volunteers are not committed to more than the events they are willing to sign up for. But without volunteers, the number of events in the future will be limited.
Thank you, Linda. Last but not least, Chief, you're up, sir.
Well, I mentioned this last week, but technically it happened in February, we did a February report. So congratulations once again to Corporal Carolyn Wynn, who received the East Montgomery County Outstanding Officer of the Year Award on February 23rd, and was also honored as Officer of the Year at the Roman Forest Police Officers Award and Recognition Dinner on February 2nd. So she's been doing an awesome job. We're actively recruiting 2 police officers. Several applicants have completed initial testing and background investigations are underway. We continue to seek additional qualified candidates to join this process. So we're still taking applications, in other words, and we've already started on some of the backgrounds. The Roman Forest Police Department blood drive will be, at the time I wrote this, it's already passed now. That was held on March 21st, 10 a.m. to 2:30, in conjunction with coffee and donuts beginning at 8:30. We're currently converting a police package Ford truck from an administrative vehicle to a patrol unit. It is expected to be placed into service by the end of March. So we've got the painting, we've got striping done, we're waiting on the radar and the camera, which should be done next week. Yeah. So it should be pretty close to the end of the month, beginning of next month, by the time that's in service. And we're also in the process of redesigning the planned police building extension to ensure the project remains within budget. So do y'all have any questions following this is all the stats?
Council, we're good? Chief, I think you're good, sir. Thank you.
All right.
I don't clap for you.
It's just encouraging.
Don't encourage you. All right, council, any questions on any items listed under 7 consent agenda? Okay, I would need a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda items as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent items presented for February 23rd meeting, March 11th meeting, and all reports that were given.
Okay, motion on the floor, Councilman Warwick, to accept the consent agenda items containing the February 23rd regular meeting, the March 11th special meeting, and all reports as presented. Do I have a second? Mr. Councilman Sanders, second. All in favor of approval? Okay, hang on. I've got one. Do it again, guys. Councilman Reesner, Councilman Warwick, Councilman Davis, Councilman Sanders, 4 abstentions. Councilman Mullane abstains. Motion passes. We are done with number 7. You good, Marie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to item 8, discuss and consider the status of the following projects. Take any action required. Mr. Phipps, you're up, sir.
Thank you very much. Drainage improvements, we are still working towards resolving the Republic Road, how that agreement will be written, working with Scott on that, and Ryan to get that resolved. Road improvements, I have nothing on it. Development improvements, Roman Forest Section 4, Phase 2. On that project, we have the plans prepared. We need about another week to finalize it. Those plans are being done under county criteria for pavement. It's 24-foot pavement, 2-inch asphalt, 8-inch base, and 6-inch stabilized, along with the required drainage, roadside ditch drainage requirements for that. We are looking for bidding options, bringing it to council. The phase 1, when we did that project, we bid it as the city is the owner. And so all contracts, all bonds were put under city. And then we have a 2-page explanation that says that all financial responsibilities are the developer. And so pay applications come in, the city council approves them, and then they're passed on to the developer for their payment. That is option 1. And then there's the other option where the developer is owner, where the developer bids the project on behalf of the city in verbiage only. And all bonds, everything is done directly with the developer through the entire project. Nothing comes to council.
I would prefer that decision process stays with city council, and I'm sure my city council would agree with that.
I definitely agree with that.
Okay. Continue, sir.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation also. That way all the bonding, everything it will be city streets and drainage, so keep it a city contract. So if you're good with that, I will, if I can get a motion, I believe, so I can get that bidding process, the contract going, and depending on how you want to do this, I guess if you want to approve the plans, there's not a whole lot to approve other than the plans are being done per the city requirement and code for pavement and drainage requirements. On that, we would ask that the city consider that so that we can start bidding and possibly award the next time. Hubbard Park, again, we have the boundary topos on that. We haven't done anything on that. We're waiting for direction towards where we want to go with that as a city. So that's all I have for item B.
All right. Any questions for him on what he's covered? So the approval you need tonight would be?
Approve the plans and approve the bidding option. The city is the owner, developer is the responsibility for financial. We'll send the contracts over to Scott, let him go through them. We did it last time under a different city attorney. Make sure all of that is to him, and then we will go to bid. So those are the two items: plans and the bidding.
How do we need to vote on this?
Well, right now, so I guess you're.
Does it need to be two separate motions? Well,
I think it needs.
okay, I thought, I wanted to make sure. So we need a motion to, go ahead.
Well, approve the plans.
Approve the plans.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you'll need a motion to approve with advertising it.
So the bidding.
For bidding.
Yeah, bidding, the way I guess the bidding options, and then to advertise.
Okay, so the motion that I would need, council, is motion to authorize city engineer to review and approve necessary drainage design and approve the bidding option for City of Roman Forest to be the owner and developer to maintain financial obligations during construction. Does that sound
So then
correct?
we need two separate.
That'd be two separate, that's what I thought.
So you'll need a motion to authorize the engineer to review and approve the plans necessary for the drainage design. That's one motion.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion on the floor, Councilman Mullane for that first motion. Second, Councilman Warwick. That motion was?
Just for the plan. To approve the plan, to approve the city engineer to review and approve necessary drainage design. Plans for necessary drainage design.
Okay, we have a first, we have a motion and a second, all in approval of that motion.
a question.
It is unanimous. Question on the floor, citizen?
Where are the plans? I haven't seen any plans.
Do you want to review the plans?
Yes, I think we should review the plans. Are we just going to accept the plans?
I'm going to set the city engineer's review of the plans. I don't know anything about drainage personally, but you do.
Yeah, I know.
But we can do that. That's,
I think we all need to review the plans.
I withdraw my motion.
we have motion withdrawn, motion is not on the floor anymore. So you are saying we need to actually review the plans of the city
Instead of
engineer?
just reviewing a blank book of plan system.
That's, we can do that. Okay,
Do you want to review the plans paper or on PDF?
On PDFs, it's fine,
Okay.
you know. If that's okay with everybody else.
So do we want to make the motion that he can proceed after we have given we can individually send our comments back to him or to the administrator? Or do you want to wait till the next councilman meeting after you've got a chance to review them?
I don't think it is necessary. We just, as the council, need to review the plans, and if we have any comments, we need to go ahead and tell the city engineer we have these comments on it.
What kind of time frame are we looking at?
I'm sorry.
What kind of time frame are we looking at?
I can have plans be a PDF tomorrow.
But
But our
question
next,
for the engineer and the developer both, you still can't proceed with anything on the drainage until Republic has been corrected, right? Because the MUD won't authorize anything new construction until the old's been accepted by the city?
No, sir, I can go ahead and move forward with the section 2 roads and drainage. The Republic stuff, I think Greg and Scott are just trying to finalize and clean up to give me to go do.
Okay, I
But-
misunderstood. I thought the MUD had we had to accept it before the MUD would accept it, and the MUD wouldn't let anything move forward until that
I
was
think when
done.
he agreed to do those driveways, when they, at the completion, they were willing to accept that.
Okay, just based on the agreement.
Based on the agreement that when you finish those driveways on Republic, that it would be accepted.
Correct. And they're fine with me going ahead and starting these new roads. And I would like to start them sooner than later, just because we're in a good time of weather. It's going to take a couple weeks to bid, contract, all that. So
Absolutely.
But that can't happen until the drainage is approved.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we have to approve the design based on Councilman Sanders' request.
Right.
And then they could release it for bidding once the engineer has given his seal of approval on it.
So,
And then that, so.
absolutely agree with you, want to review it, no problem with that. But how do we proceed from here that we don't put this off another month?
Right, right.
I can come in here anytime this week.
How does council proceed by, with approving this without putting it off another
We
month?
can issue a PDF to each one councilman.
Okay.
The councilman, just like we have done on the other plans and stuff. And if anybody don't want to comment on it, they don't have to comment on it.
So
You know,
you
give them-
want to
give them a week or
give,
give them-
you're going to give authority to who in your motion?
I give authority to you,
Okay.
as the mayor.
To
go forward.
after
We
review?
Yes.
Okay.
So do we want to set like 72 hours for the review once you receive them, or a timeline so
We
that
can say
everything
by
moves
Friday,
forward?
this Friday. That would be 72 hours, basically.
Yeah.
That work for you, sir?
Sure. I'll provide it in the morning.
Everybody good with that? Are you good with that?
So the motion, I mean, so essentially it will need to be
To give me
to
approval
give you approval.
to proceed?
Would be the motion to give the mayor the authority to release the engineer
Yes.
to approve the
Okay.
plans after 72 hours for council to review the plans and provide any comments.
But if there are comments, then we would have to come.
Well, we'd have to come back. I'm not going to approve, obviously. We would schedule a special meeting, or we would take it up on the next regular meeting.
We can schedule another special meeting, or along with our couple of other special meetings we've had,
Okay.
you know, like on our,
Another week.
So we do a meeting every Monday?
yeah, we did do every Monday meeting or Wednesday meeting.
We can do that. Well, I won't be here all of them, but I'm
You
just.
don't need, you don't need.
So, okay.
Hold on, if I get this straight.
Yeah, stay on.
Is there a way we can approve it? We can give the mayor the authority to approve it based on,
Well, essentially you're giving, essentially what you're doing is giving the city engineer approval contingent upon review, council review and ultimate approval through the mayor.
Yes.
Should there be no comments?
Yeah, if y'all have no problem with it, then I give him the approval. If there's comments on it or any discussion, I bring it to the next meeting, whether that's special or regular.
I'd rather do it that
That
way.
sound right?
Yes, that's it.
Say it one more time. and I'll-
You are giving a motion to authorize the city engineer to review and approve necessary drainage design contingent upon the council review. And within 72 hours, if no comments are made by council through the review, the mayor may authorize, the mayor will be authorized to approve through city engineer, to the city engineer.
Did you get that?
Recorded.
Yeah, you gotta repeat it, Dave. I mean, I'm a councilman, sorry.
Hey, I like the motion as stated by our lawyer.
No, I agree. So Councilman Mullane makes the motion to proceed as presented by the city attorney. Now do I have a second?
Does everyone understand?
Councilman Warwick, does everybody understand? Councilman Warwick seconds. Any other discussion before we proceed? Yes, sir.
Just the caveat that if there are comments, that we can authorize the city engineer to resolve those with the responding council members without having to come back to a vote. So if he sends them out, Councilman Sanders says this needs to be a 24 instead of an 18-inch, and he says, sure, we'll make that a 24-inch. Can't do that.
No, because that would be considered, if you're making comments, that might, it would essentially need to be.
That would be one person. That would be one person, not all.
Understood.
Any other discussion before we vote on the motion? All in favor of the motion?
That long,
One, two, three, four, five.
I hope the
It is
mic's
unanimous.
turned on.
The second part of that does not apply now.
Well, now you're right.
Right, we can't
Not
vote
really
on the
on that.
second part.
We can still vote on it and authorize that that's the way we want it when the bidding goes out, because if there are no comments, then the engineer can release the plans and we don't have to hold anything up.
Okay. Make a motion to contingent upon the approval of the designs, the drainage design, to authorize the city engineer
To bid the documents
To
with the
bid.
city as the owner and the developer to
As the
have
city
the
as the
financial
owner.
obligations.
Okay.
That way we're not holding anything up.
Was that a motion?
I will make that motion that we're contingent upon the approval of the mayor to release the city engineer to approve the plans for bidding. Then the bidding will be done with the city as the owner and the developer to hold the financial obligations on the drainage improvements and roads.
I like it. Motion on the floor, Councilman Davis, as he stated. Do I have a second? Second, Councilman Sanders. Discussion on this topic.
That is the most complicated, most complicated.
Yeah.
In my 10 years, emotions I've
Oh
ever
my
seen.
gosh.
There you go.
Discussion, everybody good? All in favor of the motion? 1, 2, 3, 4, unanimous.
I'll do my best not to have that.
Thank you.
Mayor,
All right, thank you.
are we
Say it again.
running that email through me to all of you?
No. Yes, no,
No?
yes.
No.
I'm thinking, hang on. Hang on, I'm running all these scenarios in my mind.
That way we make sure if we all get to you, if I get them,
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get them all.
Yes.
Just have to be careful not to reply all.
And.
No, you can't require all, I know.
No, just send it, I'll send it out to y'all, and then we'll do it like everything else.
Okay,
Send it back to
that's
you
fine.
in a separate email if you have a question.
Yes.
And then I'll make sure that Greg gets it and the mayor gets it.
That will work.
Hey, that mic's turned on, man.
Do it.
I said, hey, that mic's turned on, man.
All right, continue, sir.
All right, so we're done with 8.
One down.
One down.
Want to go to 9?
Yes, let's go
All
to
right.
9. Okay, are we done there? So 9. Item 9, council, consider items related to police station building and take any action required. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a review of the prefabricated building options and the procurement requirements. I will leave the building options to the chief, and then I do need to talk to you about how we're going to procure it, as far as bidding or how that goes.
That'll work.
Hand it to the chief.
All right, chief, you got 3 minutes.
I had to do this, right? So just trying to do my homework and everything, I took this, what I handed you, and I emailed it to a couple local people who does the construction and stuff, Jerry and Chris, and said somebody else I haven't heard back yet from, but it looks like all these things written in red on here, trying to overbid. Jerry said, you know, it's gonna fit within the budget. Chris was still working on it, but that's just to give me an idea how much it's gonna cost for these extra things. You add that to some of these prices that I've gotten. You know, since we talked about it, I've been visiting buildings, I've been visiting factories and all kinds of stuff, satisfying myself that it's a good product. I got today from Satellite, I got 2 different size buildings. I asked for one particular size. The bigger size, they can do for less for some reason. So maybe she's trying to introduce that to me, I guess, to even go bigger. But I really don't want to. I want to go with this size that I put down here on these plans. I'd have to rethink placement if we wanted the bigger one. But the bigger one's like 3,000 less. So that's 267. The other one is the size that I have down here is 270. Now, this is just a quote. I don't know if we have to go out for bids on this or what, but either way, if we don't have to go out on bids, we can talk to 3 of the major suppliers. I leaned heavily on Councilman Mitchell Davis about this because he works in that field, or he did, and he was able to give me some good names, so I've been looking into that. But on this paper, what I'm saying is it looks like it's going to fit within budget. Still a little bit more homework. I'd like to get the question answered, do we have to go out for bids, or is there a way to do the lease thing and pay off the lease early or whatever? I think I'm the attorney for that. But as far as the building itself,
Okay.
I got 2 tie-ins to the existing building on the paper in front of you. I didn't draw all the walls for the existing building, just the relevant ones. And right behind you would be 1 tie-in. And then inside that tie-in, have a door to go out. That would be like a fire escape. And then you get past that and go into the building. And then on the far end of the building, have another tie-in. Still keeps the same idea, basically the same floor design. So I think it'll work. Because it'll be elevated, we're going to have a handicap or ADA ramp. And talking to the engineer just a little bit ago, put it on the far side of the building over there. It'll be out of sight and fine. So I think that's not reflected on what I passed out. I'll pencil that in. Still doing final sizing and all that. Every company, I think, carries a different product too. So that's why I'm a little bit worried about going out for bid. Does that eliminate half the competitors because they don't offer that product? So if the attorney has an answer on that, I'd really love to hear it.
Where are the funds coming from for this?
250 of it is coming from the SLURF funds, and 150 is coming from donated funds. I mean, 100 is coming from donated funds. 27 and some change, 28 is coming from the interest earned on the SLURF funds.
Okay. So there are exceptions to so generally you have to go out for bid for any kind of procurement over $100,000. There are exceptions to this if it is if it is using federal funds, state or federal funds, for a specific grant program, which I think the SLURF can apply to, but it is also in a requirement that it is essentially it's a community development program. So the SLURF funds weren't actually specified for this purpose, correct? They were specified for
Council.
They did approve that.
To
Okay.
approve that. yes.
Then that, I think, can give you the exception to competitive bidding. Now, you do still have to advertise a request for procurement. You do still have to put out a,
Did we designate the donated funds for that? We
The donated
designated the,
funds was earmarked for the
What-
police building extension.
who earmarked it? You or the council?
Bola.
Who?
Tavola Foundation.
Tavola when they donated it, so I guess, so that
For
would
the
probably apply, yeah, okay.
so in that scenario, you still have to use the request for proposal process. So it does still have to be, you have to publish a request for a proposal, but then, and then you can choose based on best value that the city is provided.
So we still got to go through that process.
You do still have to go through that process.
With things I'd like to go through as fast as possible, so if we do need to do that, I'd probably love to get my complete thought together, maybe have a special meeting so that y'all approve what I'm looking at, and then get the engineer to start that proposal. Is there a dollar amount to that, going through that process? Is there a dollar amount going through that process?
or?
We have
Do the
authorization.
request for proposal?
Well, that's a quick, are we gonna do a request for qualifications and then negotiate on the RFP, or choose up to 5 and then do an RFP without cost? Because the RFQ typically comes in without cost, and then you go to an RFP to get a proposal to negotiate. Or do we want to go straight to?
You can go straight, you can go straight to a request for
proposal.
proposal. That's
Okay.
right.
Because we're only dealing with, a very limited amount of qualified builders that can do this.
I think what we would probably do is do it where it's a bid for a written scope of work, and then we give them a sample plan of how we would envision that being met, but let them give us alternate ideas of how they would meet the same thing, because some of the carriers will have this size unit, and some of them will want to do it with fewer, larger units, or whatever it is. But if we say it's a minimum of this square footage and break up offices, training room, secure areas, bathroom, something, and then let them each do it their way, but we give them a sample plan of how we would envision being done, and then they can modify that as they can to give.
And we give them the floor plan for the two duplex systems.
And then they would come back with a floor plan and a price, right?
Correct. And then what I would ask is that the engineer come up with some specified standards for windows, whether we're gonna have window bars, foundation, skirting, wainscot, flooring, siding, roofing, insulation, interior doors, exterior doors, data cabling, whether we're gonna do separate contracts for security, for interior cameras, exterior lights, interior lights being LED, and we're doing those with battery backup, whatnot, plumbing being PEX, PVC, or copper, heat tracing under the units, electrical is either gonna be a single panel connection or 4 individual panels for connection, and are we putting a generator or tying on to our existing generator, because that will change how we make our point of connection if it's gonna be tied back to our existing. But anyway, I'll give you this, Greg, just my thoughts, and the engineers and designers may have other things that they think they need to specify that I haven't thought of.
And I'll get with some of the
You go into
builders.
some of that, none of them might not be qualified. They have a basic, package. They'll build the walls to suit, they have basically what they do.
We'll give them a guideline, and then they'll bid what they are capable of or what they're standard of, and some of them bid an extra to get to your standard, right? If we say 2x4 construction and they say we do 2x6, okay, then the bid is 2x6.
So the other thing is in talking to this company and, trying to do all the research, I think it's better that, so they said they don't do the build the wall over here on this side of the building, the replacing the floor and painting, Scott's new office, they don't do that when they install. So they may, and I think they're going to be more expensive, they may do the stone or brick storefront looking thing. They do ramps, they even do the tie-in hallway. But a lot of these other things, what they don't do is they don't tie in the electrical and they don't tie in the plumbing. We have to have somebody else do that. So in talking to, just Jerry was helping me out with some pricing. For example, I was talking to him, and all this stuff in the red would be on the contractor that we hire, which would be less than the threshold of having to go out to bid. So we do the quote process. And then the building itself is taken care of by the company. Having the contractor do the tie-ins, the hallway, and the brick facade. So I'm looking at 2 different people, 2 different companies to deal with. One through the quoting process, whatever the legal term of that is, and one through, I guess we have to go through the bidding process for the building. So just want to make that clear. We're going to be dealing with two different aspects of this. The company that we that does the building, they can hire a contractor to do all the rest of it. But that's going to be, they're going to throw in their extra stuff to market it. It's probably going to send us over budget.
I would rather see this quoted, proposed from a single company. I don't like this. We're gonna have to start running around now, finding other contractors for brick and electrical and plumbing. That's
No, I'm talking about one contractor for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're still talking about two different.
Yeah.
Two contractors, one for the modular building setup and installation itself, and one to do the final connections for plumbing, electrical, and whatever's required on the outside.
Is that typical on these? Do they usually not do the electrical? I mean, okay, and I'm sure it probably is.
That's one thing they did say, they will not do the electrical.
Okay,
The electrical
That is-
is on the
and I get that.
But everything inside the units, they will be pre-wired. The mechanical systems will be pre-wired, the plumbing systems will be pre-done. You're bringing a single point of connection for water and a single point of connection for sewer.
Okay, so okay, I got you. So it's like it's ready to go to a job site, right?
That's correct.
I got you. Okay. So we do have to put it out?
26 inches.
You have to put it
below
in
is
the
gonna get it without having to dig into the ground.
It's a difference between
For
competitive
proposal.
CLP.
Yeah,
It
gotcha.
is still a bid.
It is still good. Okay, so we would, you had some thoughts on this too. You had some more
Yeah,
thoughts.
I'll just work with Scott, the way we will put the language in the proposal is we always reference back to code
Mhm.
so that we cover everything,
Yeah.
how it's being done. I think the building itself, they'll come in, set everything, and then at that point they're done. Then I think there's, we'll know what that price is. How long does it take to build? 3 months?
Yeah, something, they can have it here, delivered, everything in 3 months.
So in a 3-month process, while they're building it, we go back through the bidding to get that contractor that's gonna come in and close everything up, make all your connections.
Gotcha.
Do everything that way. And we'll advertise or do that just in normal bidding.
And that will probably be under your threshold if you're treating them as two separate purchase agreements, then that'll be under your $100,000 threshold. If you wanted to negotiate that, or if you want to go out,
It should be, it should be less than the threshold, based on the guy that I got to just give me and he was overestimated too. He give me a price and it's under our threshold, so, without putting pen and paper detail to it.
I mean, it's still not gonna be cheap, you're still gonna have to transfer your power, transfer your sewer connection, and then there's quite a bit of woodwork if you're doing, or metal decks, or however you're doing for your decks and your ramps, unless you go with a wheelchair lift.
Now, the ramps, they can provide, aluminum or whatever, but, I think if we're gonna hire a contractor anyway, I'd rather a contractor do
They're
it.
just
to our specs.
surprisingly expensive when you get to put them all together for labor.
Yeah.
So building is one entity, contractor to handle the ramps, the electrical, the plumbing,
All the red.
already.
That would be a single contractor,
Yeah.
instead of small general contractor.
Because they can't be done through the same, essentially the same contractor
The
can.
modular building company will not take on that liability.
Then yes, then that's fine.
So they're gonna,
That might be.
whoever brings these buildings gonna tie it all into the existing building? Or was that
They
gonna be a
can,
contractor?
with them hiring their contractor to do it. They said the options that they are willing to do, and she can get into pricing on it, is do the 2 hallway tie-ins, and we don't want them to do the ramp. I've seen the ramps, I don't like them.
I would recommend you get that done.
But they would do the
General
ramp.
contractor will be a better quality.
The tie-ins? Okay.
The guys that are doing the trailers do rough construction, not finished construction generally.
Okay, so the building would be without tie-ins. That's, and I agree with you. I would.
They would have the opening for the tie-in.
Yeah.
No, just do the tie-in. So
I
while
hope
they're
they leave it
building,
open.
but what I'm envisioning is while they're making this custom for us, we got X number, 2-3 months to wait, we would be going through the process of selection and having the contractor ready to go when they get here.
Yes. So you will be going to an outside contractor for the tie-ins for the hallways, the electrical, the sewer, the ramps.
Yes. And I think y'all would like this as well. We've got lots of local contractors. I'd like to give an option to put a quote in. And we
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
select somebody local to help out locally.
And to Mr. Ellis's point, we'll have to push the permits through pretty quickly.
Yeah, time is,
Yeah, while all this is going through,
Yeah.
we'll be pushing the permits through, so.
yeah, what was it? 128 days. It's not gonna work on this deal.
So, Chief, you have to make sure your people have their paperwork in order and that they don't have change orders and they aren't changing things throughout the job, and you'll meet that time. Otherwise, you won't meet that time. You won't get to 128 days.
Right.
Understood.
So, thank you for that. I do appreciate that, because you and I have talked about that. People don't take some of those things into consideration when they are speaking about them. What do you need from us tonight to proceed with this project?
I guess we need authorization to prepare plans and specifications. And if this is if you all have the floor plan in front of
We
you.
do, we got it.
Council will review those before they go.
If you've got comments or want to review this further, and let us know if you're okay with that floor plan. That's the floor plan that we would put.
That's kind of a general plan, and I understand it may change a little bit, like you said.
Yeah, give us some wiggle room if you can.
You know what, I like the entrance here, I like the entrance there, I like 2 ins and outs.
And
I don't see a problem with it, but.
You know, I don't feel comfortable approving the plans tonight because I just think.
We're not approving them to go out for bid for this design of floor plan.
This is the chief's plan, so we're authorizing the engineer to finalize the plans and specifications. And then they will give them to council to review.
Yeah, well, yes, so he's gonna bring this back to us for approval. We're not approving these tonight.
This is a sketch.
When you do,
This is a pencil in.
when you do come back with those, I'd like 72 hours to review it, not 5 hours to review it.
Right. Yeah, this is just a sketch. This isn't for approval.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you bring it in last minute, I won't be so for it.
Right.
You know, I need 3 days to do it.
Right.
So realistically, Greg, could you send this to them right now and say, give me a quote?
Yeah, I could say, I would take everything else out in front. I
Sure.
would just put what the buildings are.
Yeah.
I would tell them, this is what the floor plan is, this is what the general
And they
dimensions are.
And they come back with, this is their look, their proposal, and here's their bid. Okay, and that's what we get to it.
They would give us their product data that says this is what our
Yeah.
exterior siding looks
Yeah,
like,
like their
these are
wall
our
thicknesses
standards.
And that's all part of, what we would require as part of the request for proposal is when they put the proposal in, they give us the floor plan that they're, going to build. And that's part of looking at the floor plan, the price, everything else that's involved in it. Their exclusions, anything that they've got in their proposal.
So the closer you get to their standard, the cheaper it is, the more you want changed out, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah, I
So
would expect so.
the chief said he wants a particular type of siding or a particular type of door, or a particular type of window, then the price is gonna go up because it's not their standard.
They're pretty much their standard product. We can get as custom as we want, but the more custom we get, besides placement of walls, they'll place the walls wherever we want, that's part of it. But the more custom we get, the more the price goes up.
So I'm assuming the interior walls are not load bearing, obviously, so they can be moved around and rearranged,
Yeah,
whatever,
that's
like
right.
partitions.
You move them anywhere you want to.
Okay, so there's a lot of room here. Yeah, go ahead, Councilman Sanders.
We are looking at 2 24 by 56 buildings.
4. So there's 2 on the left, 2 on the right, connected by a walkway.
I need wiggle room on that
So
too.
this is 1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 with a walkway in between. So it's 12 foot by 56, 12 foot by 56.
Okay,
So it's 2 double wides connected.
okay.
Well, there's a little bit of, I got 8 different options to make this happen. So that's why I say these have a little wiggle room because every company has a different base product. So some of them are 64 long, some of them are 60 long, some are 54 long. So there's different base product. Some of the things they have available isn't really base. They have to order it and bring it in. So if we go to as base product as possible, the cheaper the price. Basically, that's around, they sent me two. The 56 wide, which is what they call 60. The 64 wide, which is the 60 wide is what they call 64. So, and then they have the two together as one unit. So this is two different units. And in the other option, this is 4 different units. So it gets spread all over the place to get what we want. So in this request for proposal, I think it needs to be a lot of wiggle room, because where one company doesn't provide what this company puts out, so they're gonna have to propose to get close to what we want.
And that's what we're gonna do tonight. That's what I propose that we allow him to do, is take this design, this proposal to them, and let's see what they come back with.
Yes.
The council gets to review these and decide.
It's essentially a design build where you give them.
So we would put out an RFP with a list of our specs of what we're looking for, siding, form, that sort of stuff. With this bid, we would put it out, advertise, go through all of that. Then we would get back 4 or 5 different builders. They would come back with their price, their list of what they're going to do, what they're excluding, and what they propose as a floor plan. And then council then looks at, you're not looking at just price, you're looking at the building and everything that goes with it, with each one of those packages. So it's not just a low bid.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting at. We understand that they're gonna all look a little different.
Yes.
I mean, I've got no problem with that. We're not comparing apple and apple here. They're gonna be different. But that's why we are going to look over all of them, like council said. And we need more than 5 more.
Provides the best value.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, this floor plan is just, here's what we want, now give us back what you can put inside of your trailer, along with everything else with your, so it's really, if you want to review this, a week or 2, or however you want to review it and change this up, then we, in that time period, we'll start preparing the proposal and everything that has to be done.
I would prefer we didn't do that, but I understand if they want to.
So placement of the walls can, according to this company, the placement of the walls really didn't matter on the price. It was the size of the building that mattered. So they said, we give them a floor plan, they can put the walls where we want. So,
Is this sitting on concrete slab? Are you gonna be sitting on blocks?
Gonna be sitting
What
on
kind
our
of security do we have
existing
to secure these buildings?
It sits on our own stuff. It's got its own floor.
sits on 4 I-beams each unit, and it sits on the ground.
I know
But I
that.
think the I-beams themselves will sit on either piers if we want piers, or you can put them on cinder blocks. They'll still be skirting around the outside though, and you can choose to do that with the corrugated metal or typical siding, or you can come back and do that with brick if you want it to look more finished.
Yeah, the 2 standard options on siding is R-panel and smart siding. That's the 2 standard.
We got 4 buildings going
Your
in.
backyard is supported.
Okay. We got four buildings going in on steel buildings. Okay? The asphalt out here, when we do the other building, from the boards and everything, we had such a load. Now, my concern is the weight of these buildings, and the engineer tell us it can sit on the regular asphalt without any moorings or anything like that.
Or you could put piers on 12-foot centers or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we'll have a foundation under it. It's not gonna just be a base and brick under it, or block under it, sitting on this asphalt. There'll be a design foundation on it.
Okay, because I was worried about the shifting of the
Yeah,
4
we're not gonna
buildings.
take responsibility.
But we don't want 4 foot of cut and
The
fill.
shifting of, no.
Okay.
Yeah, the only other thing I would suggest is doing this is have the electrical independent or generator independent, because as soon as you have to go in and tie that in. You want the counterpoises all tied together, but otherwise, if you have to go in and intersect any of the electrical here, that'll drive the price up. It should have its own independent generator, everything, system. And keep the price down and ensure the integrity of the new building for your electrical.
That is true.
The electrical is coming from this electrical panel over here. The current building is coming from this electrical panel over here.
That's what he's saying. So put a
It's
generator
independent.
from that.
I don't think that one generator there will pull all that.
Well, it's not, but it's not supposed to be
It's two
tied in.
separate services, it would have to have another
It'd have to have-
generator. If it's on.
It'll have its own, it'll be a complete separate system from this one.
The only consideration is how to get the gas there. That's expensive. Yeah, if you're gonna have a generator, you gotta have gas.
Oh, that's right. The gas line is right there. So
There's a
the
gas line.
line's already behind.
Goes down the Sims.
Yeah, comes down right there.
Yeah.
They just drop a meter. So.
Then the only other question is as an alternate, is it, they offer new construction and refurbished construction.
I would have to then give us their best price on those.
Yeah, it'd have to be way down and looked
You want
at.
to do it as an alternate under a refurbished?
So I got the quoting I'm getting is the refurbished and the new, and the refurbished is the one that I can get what I want. And I toured their facility, they take it down to the stud and rebuild it. So I said if they did that, I'd want to be there at every process of it, and I can bring Greg with me and make sure, because I'd like to see what's behind everything to put it back together. I don't want something that's been in this field for 10 years. They can do something for 3 years, 2 years, 6 years, you know. So I'd like to be part of that.
For an alternate.
Yeah,
I don't think
allow me
we
to
can do
visit. They
what
said
you're
I can't, so.
I got one more question for Chief. When you first gave this introduction to this item here, you skimmed past the word and you used or lease. What do you mean by that? Or lease what?
Lease.
You used the word lease. Lease on top of
Lease. Lease. L-E-A-S-E. Lease to purchase.
So could you tell them about the city that you went to visit?
Yeah, so I went and visited, so in talking to them, I went and visited, Kendleton, their most recent client, and Kendleton didn't do the bidding process. They just outright bought the property, and what I found, bought the buildings. And what I found was they started with a lease, and then they prepaid the lease off, and then at the end of the lease, you buy the building for $1. So that's what they did, and I brought that to the attorney, and
I don't know what special items they did, but leasing or purchasing, essentially, if you're gonna be spending the funds, you have to follow the lease procedure. So whether it's a lease or it's a purchase, that doesn't.
Yeah, there's language that's vague enough that I'm not comfortable doing that.
yeah. So I got lease options on there, not knowing what the attorney's answer is gonna be.
Fair, and I'm not sure exactly what they did or what
Yeah,
specific.
when I first started talking, I had to talk to the attorney yet.
Yeah,
So,
next one is,
yeah,
we're good.
but the lease is off the table now. There's no lease.
That word always scared me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's off the table. We gotta go through the bidding process.
So, Mayor Pro Tem, what do we do now?
We wait for the mayor. So I think what we'll end up doing though is, one of us will make a motion to authorize the engineer to begin drafting plans and specifications for the bidding process and for council's review prior to sending it out for bid.
While you're talking about that, I don't want to go through this 3 more times. I'd like to, if we see in the process, it's going to be, I'd like to be vague enough in the RFP to where if we see that going this wide of a building is not going to be within budget, I'd like to accept the proposals to go this wide of a building. Sure. So, you know, or in the case that I got today, it went bigger for less. So I want to leave you enough wiggle room to be able to stay within budget, get this one and done, over with, and get it going.
You gonna have enough space when it's all said and done to park those police vehicles back there?
Yeah, yeah, the footprint's gonna be the same almost, so it's gonna be a little bit bigger, but the footprint's practically the same.
So there'll be enough room for your patrol cars?
Yeah. It's not going anywhere where we park. We have this big old area in the back that we drive around, it's just gonna take that down to a single lane. So,
But it does obviously choke down the drive, but it leaves enough room for a car to move.
yeah. That matter of fact, the original design took away a couple of parking spaces.
Will that still be in an approval of the easement that's back there? Still be within the building line?
Yes.
Okay.
So our building line is 20 feet, 25 feet, so far beyond the building. And you gotta stay 10 foot from the edge, so. And we got an 8-foot easement too, so.
So, what we need to do tonight is start this process over for these modular buildings.
I don't believe he wants to send that out to everybody.
We need to authorize the city engineer to prepare plans as fast. And we also need to, yeah. We need to go all the way to authorize for bid. I mean, and what we're talking about.
Well, I think then we're getting at the same deal of, I suppose you can make it contingent on, if there are no, you can authorize the engineer to go out for bids, should there be no
We don't want to go out to bid
provisions
until
or changes.
council's had a chance to review the final plans.
Well, but how are you gonna get the final plans without going to the individual companies? Because you don't know what their product is.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, it's kind of catch-22 here. You're correct. So we almost need to authorize them to prepare the specifications and take it for bid, because they're all different. We're not looking at apples, we're looking at different things here.
Satellite sent me 8 quotes off of one question. I sent Satellite this, they sent me 8 different options back. So,
The council would like to review the
the
designs before they're going out for bid,
Yes.
then it does need to be, we can do the same thing with what we just did. We say we can authorize it contingent upon no comments or issues from council upon review.
It's not gonna work in
But
this,
then,
because we're gonna have to all get together and discuss this.
I think then it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking is, I don't like the stuff, it's about 4 weeks on
No, but we need to see what individual companies are gonna propose and what their designs are. And it's not, every one of them's not gonna be the same design.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Chief,
Listen up, guys.
Chief,
We're gonna have to put a drainage in right there, all your water don't stand in there.
Chief,
you got several proposals from one of the vendors. Would it be possible for you to send those to the different council members so that they can understand what it is they're expecting?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them have not been involved in the discussions or previously involved in this process.
right, I do have questions on the one, she sent it to me at the end of the day, and I tried to call her, she didn't answer. But that was about why the different sizes of the building, but I can certainly send it back to you.
Right, it's just one individual vendor, different vendors are gonna have different standards, but at least lets everybody give something of an expectation of what they're voting on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that because I suspect if, let's say, 3 vendors put a proposal in to try to say, this is what we can do based on what you're wanting, I'm afraid we're gonna have 4 different options from each company. And you're gonna have 20 or 25 options to be looking at.
Well, how about this, all I'm saying is, before we approve hiring, I don't want to hand it to you the night of and say, this is the final version, photo, nobody gets a chance to look at it. I don't care about the options, that's up to you, as far as I'm concerned.
and that falls to review bids and authorize award of the contract. Now, I get it, absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, that-
But
probably have that
tonight,
week before.
authorizing him to prepare plans And specifications is not far enough. If we want this, if we want some look and some prices and some floor plans, we've got to go all the way to authorize and advertise for bid. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, go through the RFP process.
So the one thing we want to make sure we don't do though is get bids in that don't meet everyone's expectation, then we have to spend the money to bid it again.
Exactly. So how do we, thank you for saying that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do we, I mean, we spend the time to get one design down, but you send that one design out to all these different companies, they may not be able to fit within those parameters, so their bid's not gonna matter anyway.
So why don't Councilman Davis help when you help? Won't y'all kind of help weed through the ones you don't want?
Well, I would
Essentially,
defer
what
to
we're
this
doing
guy
is
because he's.
I mean, an analogy is we're sending out a bid for a 1-ton pickup truck, and it needs to have air conditioning and cruise control. Now everybody send us your bids on how you're gonna make that happen.
Now, I got no
And you're
problem
gonna
with
get different versions of a truck, but they're gonna look wildly different. And some of them are gonna be four-wheel drive, and some are gonna be double cab, and some of them are gonna be dualies. But everybody give us what you've got in order to meet that requirement.
But to do that, we have to authorize him to take that out for bid. That's where I was kind of going.
So what he's gonna do is say, I need a conference room of not less than this square footage, I need 4 offices of these square footages, and then they each have to meet that their own way.
Do you agree with that, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll work with Scott to make sure that.
And that's what we gotta do.
And everything is.
Just authorizing you to prepare plans is not gonna accomplish anything here. No.
Because we have no plans to prepare.
No, we don't. There is no plan. We have a wish list, and we're gonna look and see who's gonna give us the best price on our wish list, which takes us all the way to authorize him to prepare plans, send them out for bid. So it takes us all the way to authorize advertising for bid.
Yeah. Well, Edge.
Go ahead.
You're asking for the security system. Do they install that inside when they build them or no?
I don't know what Chief has talked to him about, so they can, right? Generally, they won't do the final cameras and stuff, but they'll do the conduit or the cabling, and they'll run the
Cat 5.
Cat 5,
They'll
Cat
run
6,
Cat
whatever,
5.
to what you want, your point of connection. Same for in-wall data cabling, but they won't do the final installation, and we would have to put that under our general contractor, or if we have a technology specialist sitting in the back of the room, then maybe they do it, or
I
something.
know on the new cameras as of January the 24th, 2026, Greg Abbott passed a bill, all government buildings will use certain cameras.
They didn't go fiber optic, did they?
And they are a high dollar, they're like $3,000 or $4,000 a camera.
And I do have an existing system, all I have to do is add a camera.
Absolutely not.
You can't do that. So is either no cameras or
You
just.
can't knock that out. You can't add to your existing.
You can't what?
You can't add to an existing camera, so that anything that you put up new has to meet their specs. And there's a list about this long of prohibited cameras.
Where'd you read that at?
Surely that's not a deadline that's coming up quickly.
It's in effect right now.
They have to give cities time
It's
to
in
come in
effect right now,
compliance.
because we already tried that, our constable's office.
So we don't have to go back and
They said absolutely
retrofit,
not.
but you do for anything you're adding has to meet this, but you don't have to go retrofit your existing.
No, you can use what you got, but anything you add, that's gotta meet the specs.
That's most likely the only security I'm gonna have is in the public area.
All right, scratch the project. We can't afford the cameras, guys, sorry.
I was gonna mention that I put that on the agenda to replace these cameras.
You didn't say how many cameras.
But I can get you a guy that gave us a good quote for our office up there.
Which would lead us to multiple contractors. Probably a contractor for a generator, contractor.
Just things to consider. Maybe it's,
Contractor for
we
all
change our
sides.
camera
Should be able to
from out here to face that door rather than the parking lot. I don't know how we do that. right? That's something for somebody else to look at. It's just things we need to consider.
They'll pay for it.
I know. Mr. World, out of curiosity, where'd you read that at?
Pull up the prohibited camera list made by Greg Abbott.
XAI.
And it'll be about 19 pages. And the list is probably 3 pages long of what you can't use.
We can't use ring and link and.
Absolutely.
So if I was to,
T-Link is out, all them, anything that's China base, you can use it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if I was to put a camera system in, it would probably be just for the public area. So-
And you may want them at each entrance or something like
Yeah,
that, but not
something
all
like that, yeah. But our existing camera system is, you got a camera in the back, it's got a camera on this side of the building, it's got a camera on this side of the building. So the existing camera system covers everything on the exterior.
And you may re-aim some of those.
So you know, we're talking about camera systems and we don't even have the.
I know, well,
I mean-
this is my,
I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, again.
so.
Should we pick out Christmas decorations for it yet?
And generator, I don't know why we couldn't go for a grant for a generator, there's all kinds of grants out there for government buildings that has generators.
There's lots of things, and you said generator, and what he said is what I want to say, but in the last council meeting, you said you don't want to hear stuff like that.
I'm just saying, we need to be prepared for what we
It's-
can afford, right? So if,
There are things that you can go out for grants for, that's pretty easy to get. I got this grant, generator on the grant, and we don't have to pay for
we're
it.
getting a little ahead of ourselves, though. We're talking two separate bid packages, one for all the additional and one for the mobile units themselves. This
Right.
is strictly for the mobile units.
Last
They
I
won't
heard,
do the cameras and they won't do the generator.
last I heard, this mobile unit has to be occupiable and usable by November.
At least the front of it.
And it can be occupiable without a
Yes, sir.
generator, right? Or without a camera
It
system.
can be.
So we can add,
If it's not, we don't get it.
there are certain things that we can run over on, but there are certain things we can't. It's gonna have to have a
Right.
certificate of occupancy. And it's, for you, it's gonna
You're
have to have a
exactly
data
right. I'd love
connection,
to-
it's gonna have to have.
Yeah, some things like the generator, for example, we can put the building in there and the generator apply for a grant, which there's grants out there all the time. So why not apply for a grant and have it installed a year from now instead of now? So we don't have a dispatch center and it's not required to be on the generator. We do have a generator here to get by with the rest of the building, so, things like the generator, let me apply for a grant. Just like the furniture, our association has just applied for an MSIP grant for, the training furniture for the conference room, you know, a table, some ADI stuff. And then later on in the year, the police department plans on applying for a grant also for some more furniture. So little things like that, we can get by grant and we make this money stretch a little bit further. That's why I hate to put in his thing that this includes a generator.
It doesn't need to, right? That's, like I'm saying, two separate.
Two separate deals.
Okay.
So it still needs to be on your plans when you're looking at the total scope of the project.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree. But I'm glad we had this conversation.
Thank you very much.
Prefab modular, not mobile.
I said modular.
You said mobile.
No, sir, I did not ever say mobile. So, let's circle back to the building that we need to think about, because we're very short on time on this project. So tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Scott, we need to approve city engineer to prepare plan specs, and send those out or advertise those to bid. Okay. That would be the motion second that I need for this police station building tonight, for the modular building. So I would like to hear a motion to authorize the city engineer to prepare plans and specifications on a modular building for the police department and send those plans out for, authorize him to send them out for bid. Do I have a first on that motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Reesner makes that motion. Do I have a second on that motion?
I will second, Mr.
Councilman Davis. Any other discussion? All in approval? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Mayor, can I talk about the contractor real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so on the contractor,
Yeah.
to do all the other things,
Mhm.
including generator, so the generator, we would probably go with a generator company, apply for a grant or so, get the generator, which will be done after it's all here. So that will be taken out, and anything like the camera system would probably be the same way. Those things I can do, I want to clarify with the attorney, I'm sure I'm right, it's underneath the threshold. We just go through the 3 quote or more process, choose, bring it to you to choose out of the 3 or 5 quotes that we got, rather than going out for bid. So
Under
if it's
the
a-
threshold,
If it's a $15,000
It's
project,
$100,000.
you choose. If it's a $50,000 project, we choose from the quotes that I bring you.
Yeah.
So I could probably do that based on some conversations with some local contractors. I think it will be under the price, that put a true pen and paper calculator to it, and then I can bring you the quotes and you choose. So we don't have to, the only thing we're going for the RFP is the buildings. I just want to say that to make sure the attorney says yes.
Yes.
No, I think that's,
And that's,
I mean,
is
I
that
agree with that.
If it's-
25 to 75?
It's 100.
It's $100,000.
Solicit at least 3 bids.
Well, I
So
mean,
solicit quotes.
you can solicit, I mean, if that's the procedure, I mean, you have purchasing power under $100,000 if you want to do it through 3 quotes for the council.
And we have a separate city purchasing standard that I think is
It's
set
gone.
at
No, no, it is. Yes, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if it's under 50, technically we can approve it without having to bother council with it.
No,
But if it's
if
over
it's-
50,
no.
under 100, we have to
No.
ask you guys to choose.
No, it's, you're good at 100,000 now, unless what our city.
We have a separate city purchasing policy.
We do, yes, you're right. Any other discussion on item 9, since we've already kind of voted on it? Moving on to item 10, consider items related to FEMA park and parking lot repairs and city road repairs in the 2024 spring flood. Take any action required.
So we are still working on those plans. We'll have those to you next
Stand by
month.
one. Chief, y'all about done?
Is our council meeting interfering with the conversation?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Got that little bit of yellow.
Yes, I do. We're in a meeting over here. Continue. Greg.
All right, so we are preparing those plans. We'll have those in April, bid in April. And the plan is we'll get our asphalt work done. Any of that will be recycled and we will utilize that down at the track. So we'll try to get use what we're taking up on that, so we'll have that for you.
Questions on item 10, council?
Not this time. Not this time.
Okay. Information only on item 10. Moving on. Item 11, discuss and consider possible action concerning resolution 291-26, adopting an investment policy for the city of Roman Forest and related matters.
Council, I just want to let y'all know this is the general housekeeping item. We
Yeah.
do it every year. We have been doing it for the last 12 years. And it's just uniform. All cities got to do it, just basic housekeeping.
Just a general question on it, and maybe I missed it when I was reading through it, but who actually chooses the investment to be made for each account? So it gives us a standard of how we're to choose them, that it's 4 primary objectives: safety, liquidity, diversification, and yield, that we're not to go for yield over safety or liquidity, but who actually selects whether we put it in a money market account, or we put it in a CD, or we put it in a treasury, which it gives us the option to do multiple things, but I didn't see who actually makes that selection.
The administrator or the chief financial officer, if we had one, but if we don't have a chief financial officer, that duty relies to the administrator and to the mayor, according to a previous administrator.
I was gonna say, does it actually say that in there, or I just missed it, or?
It's in there, it's like on the 3rd page.
Okay. That was my only question.
More discussion on item 11,
It was a title.
resolution 291-26.
Mayor, make a resolution we adopt, I have a motion to adopt resolution 291-26.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Mullane, to adopt resolution 291-26. This is adopting an investment policy for the city of Roman Forest, Texas. Do I have a second? Councilman Sanders, seconds. Any other discussion on item 11? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, item 12 is our discuss and consider implementation of zoning regulations.
with the city of Roman Forest and take possible action to establish policy procedures or enacting, adopting, or enforcing zoning regulations. I missed the last meeting. Council, do we need to set any special meetings? Anything need to come up on the next agenda?
I think it just needs to remain on the next agenda. I don't think we had anything specific other than each council member was going to go back and look at the plats of the city and where they would recommend their their recommendations on different zones, if you will, whether it's multifamily, commercial, single family, or other things.
People want to come with maps.
Yes. I've been coloring them on my map, I just didn't write it up here. Okay, this does stay on the agenda every meeting. Y'all get over here, we need anything on there for 12?
We will. I guess my request is, since Councilman Reesner was going to submit his resignation, I don't know we can formally until it's on the agenda, but we know that that's coming. We may want to involve whoever that replacement, if there's going to be one, is to give them a little time to give their input on the zoning before we take any action on it.
So we are done with 12?
Yes.
Okay, so we are on 13. So, yes, no, we will definitely do that. At this time, though, I would like to adjourn into executive closed session for consultation with our attorney. I am calling that right now, so we do need to do that. So if there's nothing else council needs to bring in a regular meeting, at this time, on my phone, council is going to adjourn into closed executive session. The time is 7:38. We will take a 5-minute break. We will adjourn at 7:43.
And if we had Chiefs edition, we would be moving and everybody else would be staying put.
Okay, council, we are out of our closed executive session. We are back in our regular council meeting. The time is 8:17. Council, is there any action that needs to be taken on item 15 at this time? Okay, I think we're good. All right, we've already discussed earlier, city council request future agenda items. Somebody good with that?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a few. I'd like to put on the agenda next month that we discuss and consider grounding that electrical box in there, solve our grounding issue on the side of the city because it doesn't have a grounding rod in that.
Really?
No, sir. That's why these cameras run on batteries. That's why we blow computers here, battery backups here, servers.
So you're talking about an 8-foot copper rod and
Right there,
a little bit of wire.
Just drill a hole in the slab,
Okay.
that's what we're gonna do for the server room.
Well, that's what has to be done, because we have a police officer here that's an electrical journeyman.
So can we?
Rosswood?
do-
And he said.
Already working on it. Okay.
He said it.
It's not council, I was just saying, can we get going on this? Okay.
We were already working with our electrician.
Okay, so let's get that.
Do something on that plug for grants.
Yeah, okay.
And also too, after watching that last executive session video, them cameras got to be replaced. I mean,
Well, you know what the standards are now.
but because you can't only make out if it's a female or a male. It's just, yeah, they're old cameras.
What, after watching what executive session did you?
Well, we had a video, we all watched an executive session.
Okay. All right,
We got to see the quality of the
I think
video.
you're talking about during the hearing,
oh,
the quality of the pictures.
Those are
yes,
just.
I agree with what you're saying on that, but that's because you zoomed in, right? So the pixels become
There's
a
something
1 by
wrong.
1 pixel.
Having this camera, and this camera,
Yeah. Okay.
has lost its quality, we can just simply replace it, I
Yes.
think.
Is this something we need to bring to the attention of council yet, or are you looking at maybe getting
That's an
some?
in-budget thing.
Okay,
In my
okay,
opinion, it's just maintenance, we can maintain our existing,
okay.
so we can just replace it for.
Then we're good. So-
Yeah.
Future agenda items. What else we have?
Comment about the electrical.
Say it again.
Can I make a comment about the electrical?
Is it a future agenda item? You can, Jerry, go ahead.
On the future agenda items to go along, but I would be wildly out of sight surprised if there was not a ground rod next to our power box.
There should be.
Because if you got a problem, you're gonna find that ground rod is corroded, and maybe the agenda item is to inspect that. Because it goes up, should go up to the ground part of the box and be distributed as the ground wire throughout the building. And if that's not done, then your building has an electrical hazard, and
It's not an agenda item. That is,
I just wanted to address that, but we need to fix that.
the administrator just
We
needs to
absolutely
fix
need
it.
to fix it. I don't think if we don't elect, I don't think our insurance goes to pay for it.
But he is correct.
Proposal of a future agenda item, is that what we're?
That's what I'm looking at, but that's not.
Can't be talking about it.
No. So, okay, so, anything else that we need to look at to put on an agenda?
I got a question here.
Motion?
One of the things that I have seen, along with the chief, that when we record in this building,
Mhm.
we only record in about 2 to 3 weeks of what's going on here.
Okay,
For him to go back on and research or look at something.
okay.
And we need to get a larger server, or how we're gonna take care of that.
Is this something you want to put
Wanna put
on,
on-
hang on, is this something you want to put on a future agenda to discuss?
Yes, I would.
That is a future agenda to discuss a larger server for the police department camera system. All right, any other future agenda items?
Can I make the request or suggestion, rather than a specific agenda item for the next meeting, that we take that up during budgeting and make sure that we have allocation for a enhanced storage for the server? Or do you not want to wait that long?
I don't really wanna wait that long because we don't know what's gonna happen in the next 6 months.
That is true.
So,
I think our budget to cover something like that?
I got an idea, but we'll.
No, we're not discussing it. We are talking about things we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss. We're not discussing tonight. Any other future agenda items, not specific?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All I need is a motion and a second to adjourn for the evening.
I make a motion, we adjourn for the evening.
Councilman Sanders, motion on the floor to adjourn for the evening. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Councilman Reasoner. Motion to adjourn, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned at 8:22.